Welcome to Code with Vinod. In this video, we will learn how we can read data from API to Angular based component. In this video, we will use HTTP client to communicate between an API to our Angular based web application. So in this web application, let's say we have two component, component 1 and component 2. So we will try to fetch data from REST API to our component. So let's get start and let's jump on coding part. So our first step would be to communicate between a REST API to our web application. So here we will use a service. So first we will create a service. So ng then generate s means service and get API data. So we can take any name. So I have taken here get API data service. So we have already discussed service in previous videos. So let's check our service is created. So here we will check. So our service name is this get API service.ts. So here to means communicate between our API. So I have already created an example for service. So I am taking this REST API which is available on Google as well. So for testing purpose, you can use this. So this is our testing API, and we will try with HTTP client. So to communicate between our REST API to our Angular based application, we will import this client HTTP client from Angular common HTTP. So we can copy this in our service. So our service name is API get API data dot service dot ts. So we have imported this HTTP client. After then we will use this construction. So we will create this variable inside our constructor. So we will use this variable. So we can take anything else, but I'm taking HTTP1. So this HTTP client we have imported here, and now we will write means we will write our code to fetch the API data. So let me copy it. So we have created a function here. Let me copy it. So this is our API. So we our variable is HTTP1. So this is our function. So later we will use this function on our front end, and this is our REST API, and we are using the get method. So in this case we are getting the data. So let me save it. So our service has created a function. So let me change get API data. So I have changed the variable name as well. Let me save it, or we will try to use this in our component. So first we will import this service. So let me go inside our component. So on the top we need to import this service. Import. So service name we will take later dot. So our service name is API this one, and we will take the function name. So this is this is our class name. We will take get API service in the component section. So we have imported this one. Let me copy again. So previously we used this service. So in component you will find a construction, same as construction. So let me show you on another component as well how it will look like if I am not using any service. So this is our component. So in this component it will look like this, but in our means in our component where we have, this is our main component, and here we have used constructor as well. So I am using this service, and I will get the data on this list variable from this service class. After then we will use ng on init. So and from list this variable I will get our function name dot get API data. So this function we have created in our API service, this one, and I am using inside component. After then we need to write this subscribe, and let me go down, and this is our function dot subscribe, and on this variable, so this is arrow function, I am assigning the items retrieving from this get API data. So it will assign all the data on this rs, and I will assign this data from this res variable to this dot artist. Let me save it, and now we will use this artist on front end. So front end I will use, let's say, for loop. So in this case we will use let's say that class star ng4, and then I will use a for loop like this. So we will use let item of artist, and then close the class, and inside the class we will write a take a para, and in para we will take item. So let me save it, and let's check. So we are able to fetch the objects. So object is these are the dictionaries of inside this list. So we will try to take the title. So let's take the title, then check. So we are able to get the titles from this REST API. And if we want to take the user ID only, so let me copy. Let me take second para, and I want to take the, let's say, user ID as well with title. So now we are able to take the user ID as well. So with the help of our client, so let me explain our again. So first we need to create a service, and after then we will import this HTTP client in our API based service. Then we will use this construction. In this constructor we will take this private variable, and we will assign this client on this, and inside the constructor we will create a function. So when this class will instantiate, this service will instantiate, our function will call. So in the component.ts we have imported this service, and we use this service again inside our component constructor. So once our component class will instantiate, our REST API will call, and when REST API will call, it will assign the data on our this array, and we are using this array on our HTML page. So with the help of this technique, we can get the data from any REST API. So thanks for watching.